Hey everybody, Caleb Dennison with Digital Trends here. I'm sitting with Mr. Mike Fasulo. He is the President and COO of Sony Electronics. One of my favorite interviews every year at CES 2019 because we get to learn so much about what's happening in Sony in addition to all the different great Sony products there are. Mike, let's just dive right into it because there's a lot to talk about here. There was something I noticed during your press conference yesterday. There seemed to be a shift in tone over prior years. Sony went very premium. There was a lot of talk about condo and bringing experiences to people. This year, the tone was a little bit different, building on that with connecting with content creators. I get that's a very basic explanation, but can you kind of dig into what that was all about for us yesterday?
Sure. It's, you know, we're calling ourselves a creative entertainment company. And this year, rather than the typical bring out the new product, talk about its features, which we will and we can.
Yeah.
We decided to really look at the purpose. What is the purpose of what we do? And if you think about it from a Sony, one Sony, all of Sony, we've got a music company, a pictures company, a gaming company, a photography business, and obviously all the innovation technology that goes along with that.
Right.
So this year, we wanted to show our capabilities from the creator side as well as the user side. We used to call it Lens the living room, but it's really understanding what the creator's intent is, solving for their issues.
Right.
And if you talk to a lot of the creators, they'll tell you Sony listens, which is like the best compliment I can ever get. And when we see an issue, we solve for it with technology and innovation and product, and gives them tools to do what they do best. So whether it's storytelling, whether it's musicians and artists, and then how do we then take that and deliver it to you as the end user in its close to creator's intent form as possible. And I say close because it's not perfectly the same, but it really gets the creators excited. It really gets the end users excited, and we've coined a term actually. Ken Yoshida, our worldwide CEO, which is communities of interest. So what are your passions, right? And put you in a community that shares those same passions, and with the creator themselves. Alpha Universe, you know about Alpha Universe?
Yeah, of course.
So take that concept, apply it to different passions.
A great example that was shown yesterday was a partnership with James Cameron, legendary director, and his demands for the best possible 8K camera, right? Sony adjusting the camera to meet his specific needs. He was making some pretty wild requests. Sony engineers managed to deliver it, right?
Yes.
So I'm using that to kind of bring things around. We did talk a little bit about lens to the living room. In this case, literally the 8K camera and its lenses capturing 8K footage, and now that is going to start being delivered. The gateway of getting the creator stuff in front of people in their homes is one of them is going to be an 8K television. You actually have two sizes here, but the big monster in the room right now is a 98-inch 8K TV. Now, the fact of the matter is that there are a lot of different companies showing large 8K TVs. Sony's difference has always been in the processing and also the pipeline, right? You guys are making the films and then you're also showing them. So a little bit, if you would, about what's different about Sony's vision for 8K.
Yeah, so it's right here to my right, your left, by the way. But you're such the futurist, you're already down the path of the 8K content. That's not where we're at this point in the stage. So 8K, when you look at our introductions we made last evening, we introduced a 98 and an 85. When you get over 85-inch screen, the pixels are many. So what 8K does is it allows you to upscale the resolution to cover 33 million pixels.
Right.
And with our X1 Ultimate processor, it transforms that into perfect picture quality. The best picture quality on the planet. So we're introducing it for the quality of the visual experience in a ultra large screen, 85 and 98.
Right.
Now, content at some point in time. Right now, it's about obsession we have with viewing quality. We also introduced a 77-inch, a 65-inch, and a 55-inch in OLED. Also on our Master Series using that same X1 Ultimate processor.
Right.
Because of that obsession. So yes, we see 8K playing a role. But let me tell you, if you're interested in a television under 85-inch, 4K is perfect.
Yeah, and
it's a great. Yeah.
And I appreciate you saying that, because I don't want people to think that we're trying to, you know, as technology experts, shove 8K down people's throats. It's available. It's magical at a large screen size, and it helps deliver a level of reality. I mean, you have to see it to really understand it, but it delivers this level of reality that you just can't, when you're sitting, as I was just moments ago, 4 feet away from a 98-inch 8K display. It's extremely realistic. The level of detail there is amazing. The HDR level, the pop, a lot of that has to do with the X1 Ultimate processor, doing that upscaling, which is really important, right? So that's where we're at right now. 8K content may be coming, but right now 4K looks better on an 8K display at those huge screen sizes. Would you say that's about right?
It does a great job of upscaling.
Right.
It does a great job. And audio as well. I mean,
exactly.
It's really hard on a floor like this to demonstrate the audio, but we're equally obsessed with audio in the entertainment experience, visual as well as audio when you're watching movies, when you're watching, you know, internet, your shows, right, etc. So that's equally important to us, and we've done a lot of improvements in that space as well within the television, and then obviously introducing new sound bars,
right,
portable speakers, etc.
We covered, some of that when we were looking at the TVs yesterday, with the OLEDs having the transducers in the screen. The screen itself is making the sound. It seems to come from the screen, but even with the high-end LED displays, there's some new speaker technology. You want to check this out at Digital Trends that makes it seem as if the sound is coming from the screen. And again, that delivers a level of reality. Another thing, talking about reality in audio, you have a new 360 audio plan going on, and there wasn't a lot of detail that was shown during the press conference, but Pharrell was extremely excited. So can you kind of sketch this out? What's this big 360 audio thing you got going on?
I'd be happy to, and I want to take just a 80 step back.
Okay.
First of all, this is our 1000X Mark III, and you've given it Headphone of the Year.
Yeah, best headphone of 2018 and probably for most of 2019, without a doubt.
We're so honored. Thank you very much. And you know, the technology in this guy is phenomenal. Best noise canceling on the planet. It's got the ambient sound functionality through the headpiece as well as through your smartphone.
Right.
So you can you can gauge the ambient sound.
Yeah.
Comfort factor, form factor to your ears. You know, the bridge is built for smaller frame heads as well as larger. So it's
the total package.
Total package. Here's where it goes now. Now we've introduced last evening a new technology called 360 Reality Audio. And here's the demo. I always say in 4K, seeing is believing, hearing is believing.
Right.
So when you go through the demo, you're going to be sitting on a stool, and we do it with 6 people, and above you will be 5 speakers, down 5. There'll be another 5 speakers at your ear level height around you, and then there'll be, I believe, 4 subwoofers on the floor. So all in all, 12 or 14 speakers. And we're going to play 2 soundtracks, an instrumental, and we're going to play a pop song for you. And you're going to hear all these speakers fire. Then we're going to shut those speakers off, put these on your head, and you're going to hear the exact
same thing.
Same experience.
Wow.
It is mind-blowing. It is mind-blowing. And Pharrell, we took him to Tokyo actually.
Right.
And we introduced him to the engineers and gave him the demonstration, and yeah, he was quite excited about it.
Yeah, he's not just a musician's musician. He's also big into sound quality and audio, as you know from listening to his recordings. He obviously seemed very impressed, and he kind of went out of his way to get here. Like, he was out in Anguilla, I think. Yeah. And he came all the way out here to chat, which I think really does say something. So what you're describing sounds similar in some ways to a surround sound audio experience. People might go, wow, that sounds kind of like Atmos, where you got speakers up here and around here and multiple subwoofers. What's different about, I mean, Sony's processing is involved in helping reproduce this experience. So what's the difference there? So
the difference is we're trying to put you on center stage. So
like in the middle with the musicians.
That's exactly right.
All right.
And be able to detect exactly where each instrument is, in which each voice is. Now, we also are working closer than ever with Dolby and support Dolby Atmos and high-res audio, DTS, right? So it's you know, this is yet another great experience simply through your headphones of trying to put you center stage with the musician.
Do you think that we might ever see that kind of speaker architecture that you use as part of the demo in like a live music situation, you know, where you feel like you're in the band even though you're just watching the band right there?
You never know.
Uh-huh, okay.
You never know. We also signed and announced a partnership with Live Nation.
Oh, okay.
So we can create some of this content with the leading concerts.
That's extremely exciting, especially for a music fan and musician as myself. I love the idea of getting people more connected to what it's like to be on the bandstand, because it's one of the coolest experiences ever. That's a lot. There's, of course, like you said, there's a lot happening with sound bars right now. You guys have a new wireless turntable that looks really, really cool. I want to kind of shift gears for a little bit and talk about something that we've been experiencing throughout the year. The Sony Aibo, little robot dog that we got a chance to play with in our office, and it is amazing how endearing this little guy is. Can you just tell me, you know, from your position at Sony, you know, being involved in producing these things and watching people act and interact with them, what's it been like watching the Aibo roll out? And are you making more of them? Is it going to get easier to get a hold of one?
Well, I don't know how easy it will be to get a hold of them. We keep selling out. Every time we make a litter, we sell out. So
I love you call it, you make a litter.
We make a litter, yeah. So Aibo we introduced, I think a year ago introduction, but shipped it in the United States last fall, and really has AI, artificial intelligence, meets robotics, and I say with a personality, because it really does have a personality.
Oh, it does.
It can learn up to 100 different faces. If you're in a good mood, he or she's in a good mood. You're in a bad mood, it leaves you alone. But it's also a deep learning device. So, you know, more than a dozen sensors in and on the dog, on the Aibo, and it's got 20 axes of movement, so it really does the movements of an animal. But it's deep learning from a point of view. It also has cameras and video display eyes, OLED display eyes, so it will memorize space. So geography. One time through, it memorizes it, and it's there forever. We also are connected to the cloud, so we're constantly uploading and downloading information and firmware. So from a deep learning device, year one was all about companionship.
Right.
Make it fun, make it, you know, a companion. And I think you've experienced that.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go and do more productivity. So it's not only a companion, but it also is maybe a security device. You know,
all kinds of different places you could go with it. Well, listen, Mike, you're a busy man. You got to go. I appreciate your time. Thanks for telling us a little bit about your vision for the future and all your products. As always, it's been a pleasure to talk with you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well.